A showdown is looming in Congress over whether or not to raise the country's debt ceiling.
Yeah, and there's a whole lot of talk around this. Congress and the Biden administration have until June to figure it all out, which could mean cuts to Medicare, Social Security, and veterans benefits. So joining us this morning from Capitol Hill, Senator Cory Booker to break it all down for us. Good morning to you, Senator Booker. Thanks for coming back to the PIX11 Morning News. Good to see you.
It's great to see you all. It's good to be back on.
So, Senator Booker, we got a lot to talk about, right? And before we talk about the debt ceiling and what it all means, I do want to talk about what we're seeing play out in real time right now. The latest gun violence out of California, a very serious topic here. As you know, 18 people killed in two separate mass shootings yesterday in Half Moon Bay, Saturday night in Monterey Park, right? Both involving the Asian community. All eyes once again on Congress, waiting to pass common sense gun legislation. We know it's Republican-led right now. Are you confident there's going to be some kind of movement in light of what we're seeing play out?
I'm not confident. First of all, my heart breaks for the victims and their families, the lives that have been shattered and taken from us. We've had more mass shootings this year than days in the year. And this, unfortunately, this trend is accelerating over the recent years. We in this nation know what we want. The majority of Americans on both sides of the aisle want common sense background checks, want some of these horrific weapons of war to be banned in our country. But yet Congress, Republicans specifically in Congress, are refusing to advance common sense gun legislation that the majority of gun owners even support. That's the big obstacle here. And we in America, regardless of your political background, have to begin to demand from congressional Republicans that doing nothing as violent gun violence continues to grow in our country is unacceptable.
Yeah, something definitely needs to be done. Let's switch gears now. We have a lot to cover this morning about the debt ceiling. What if Congress doesn't vote to raise the debt ceiling? What does that actually mean for the average American?
Well, again, this is something that's done routinely. It was done 3 times with really little discussion under President Trump. But suddenly Republicans who approved a lot of this debt, remember, a third of our national debt, about $8 trillion, was accrued under the Trump administration, and nothing was said. But if the Congress doesn't move to do this, if Republicans try to block this routine practice, what they end up doing is putting the full faith and credit of our nation at risk. And Moody's says that could have catastrophic impact on the average American. It would drain people's home values. It would raise mortgage payments. It would crash people's 401k and retirements. It would raise the cost of borrowing. And so what Republicans are saying right now is they're willing to wreck the economy, hurt people economically, all over the fact that they want cuts. Well, the reality is people have paid into their Social Security. People have earned their veterans benefits, and to threaten these programs when just one president ago they were willing to rack up all of this debt in order to give the wealthiest of Americans major tax breaks, this is just unacceptable.
Yeah.
They need to put forward a plan.
Yeah, and I was actually doing a lot of reading and trying to understand what the debt ceiling was and how it all works. And in simplistic terms, every president since George Bush in 2000 has added to the debt of this country, Republican and Democrat, ever since the year 2000. So the Republicans now are using it as really a bargaining chip because they're in control of Congress, right, with the president. How long of a drawn-out process do you expect this to be, or is it going to be buttoned up pretty quickly?
Well, I don't know. It's really the sort of radical right House members that caused all the chaos in the Speaker vote that are the ones that are threatening to cause a havoc in our economy. And it's really going to be their decision. And they need to put forward a plan as opposed to just saying no. They are now the governing party, as you said, of the House of Representatives. They need to act responsibly. But the more they hold out, the more they threaten, the more they hostage take. It's not the Congress people here that are going to see the pain. It's the American people who are going to see the pain.
Yeah, and based on the dynamic on both sides, it's hard to think that anything is going to get done anytime real soon. Switching gears again, the Department of Justice, let's talk about the batch of documents that were found, the classified documents discovered in President Biden's home in Delaware. The Senate Intelligence Committee calling for a briefing related to both Biden and the Trump classified documents. So how are Democrats handling this right now, especially after criticizing President Trump for his handling of classified material?
Well, look, no one should have classified documents in an unclassified setting in a way that is so inappropriate. I'm grateful that the Biden administration and President Biden has done responsible things. When the documents were discovered, they immediately notified the National Archives and the Justice Department. They have cooperated fully with Justice Department investigations. They launched their own investigation, which led to more documents, which were then immediately turned over with notifications to the Justice Department and to the National Archives. And on top of that, the Biden-appointed Attorney General has called for a special investigation. This is in dramatic contrast to President Trump's behavior of himself taking documents, himself refusing to turn them back over, himself objecting to investigations as well as a thorough search. So these are two very distinct situations. The Biden administration is cooperating fully and launching their own investigation. And again, this is a serious matter, and we should, as Merrick Garland has said, get all the facts.
Yeah, and two special prosecutors investigating a former president and a current president really has never really happened in the history of America. And you mentioned, you know, when you talked about the mass shootings, how there's been more this year. It's been a roller coaster of a ride in so many different aspects of this country, from shootings to politics to recessions to the economy. It seems, though, that there are all eyes right now on one thing in terms of George Santos on Long Island, this congressman, and whether or not he should step down, right? Democrats are calling for him to resign. Republicans on Long Island are calling for him to resign. Speaker McCarthy saying, well, we're going to put him on 2 House committees. What do you think?
Again, this is an awful sideshow. I really feel for the people in his district. I don't care. This is not Republican or Democrat. This is about institutional trust and integrity. The right thing for him to do is to step down. This is just becoming a distraction and a sideshow, and it's undermining faith in just the institution of Congress. By sitting somebody like this, by not having any kind of investigation, you are just highlighting that in America, hey, you can cheat, lie, steal, and get a seat in the United States House of Representatives, even over the objections of people in both parties. I'm sorry, there should be consequences for this kind of behavior, but the right, honorable thing to do, which would be for him to step down and allow there to be a special election in his district.
Yeah, listen, before we let you go, I know you got up early to speak with us here on the PIX11 Morning News, but for good reason. I mean, you've got quite the record going, sir. Going for that run again.
You know, it's what a wonderful, just personal breakthrough. I think all of us in life should do things we think we can't do. But I ran every single day last calendar year,
awesome.
and I'm continuing my streak this year. And I'm adding some new things this year. So this year, in addition to the running every day, I am doing push-ups as well.
What?
100 a day.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm excited about these health challenges, and they are difficult, but the consistency is, we all know this, in health and wellness, consistency matters. And I want to be just set an example in my own life of the kind of things I talk about.
Former runner myself. You know, let's go for a run. Let's go for a race.
Here's my record of running.
I really enjoy that.
0 days in a row.
And by race, I mean a very slow jog. Okay,
I'm all for that, and I can help you with grooming tips too if you want to learn about hair care.
Mine's just going gray.
Well, congrats on the record. That's awesome. Thank
you very much.
Senator Cory Booker, thanks again for being with us. We appreciate it.
All right. Take care, everybody.
You too.